Imagine a market where a handful of big players call the shots. That's an oligopoly. Think of it like a small town with only a few gas stations. Each station knows what the others are doing, and they base their prices on that knowledge. In an oligopoly, these few firms have a lot of power. They can influence prices and output levels. This is different from a market with lots of small businesses, where no single player has much sway. Oligopolies exist in many industries. Think about airlines, cell phone providers, and car manufacturers. In each case, a small group dominates the market. The cola wars between Coca-Cola and Pepsi are a classic example of an oligopoly in action. These two beverage giants hold a significant chunk of the market share. Both companies constantly try to outdo each other with new products, marketing campaigns, and pricing strategies. They know that their actions directly affect each other's profits. For instance, if Coke lowers its prices, Pepsi likely will too, to avoid losing customers. This interdependence is a hallmark of oligopolies. Oligopolies are different from other market structures. In perfect competition, there are many small firms, and no single firm can influence the price. Think of farmers selling wheat. On the other hand, a monopoly is a market with only one seller. They have complete control over the price. Think of a small town with only one utility company. Cartels, like OPEC in the oil industry, are groups of firms that collude to fix prices and output. They act like a single monopoly, but they're inherently unstable. In an oligopoly without collusion, firms are constantly trying to anticipate their rivals' moves. They know that lowering prices might steal market share, but it could also trigger a price war. This strategic interaction is where game theory comes in. The prisoner's dilemma is a classic game theory scenario that explains why cooperation in oligopolies is difficult. Imagine two rival gangs caught by the police. Each gang member is offered a deal: betray your partner and go free, or stay silent and risk a longer sentence. The best outcome for both is to stay silent, but the temptation to betray is strong, as it guarantees the best individual outcome. Section 5. Size matters. More players, more problems. The number of firms in an oligopoly matters a lot. The fewer the firms, the easier it is for them to coordinate, either explicitly or tacitly. Think about it. It's easier to keep track of one competitor than 10. As the number of firms increases, the likelihood of a price war also increases. This is because each firm has a smaller share of the market to lose. Section 6. The prisoner's dilemma. Why cooperation can be tough. The prisoner's dilemma highlights the challenges of cooperation, even when it would be mutually beneficial. In the context of an oligopoly, firms might be tempted to undercut each other on price to gain market share. If both firms lower prices, they both lose profits. However, if one firm lowers prices while the other maintains higher prices, the lower-priced firm wins big. This creates a strong incentive to defect from any agreement to keep prices high. The prisoner's dilemma shows us that even if firms see the benefits of cooperation, the fear of being exploited can lead to competitive behavior. Section 7. Beyond Coke and Pepsi, the prisoner's dilemma in real life. The prisoner's dilemma pops up everywhere, not just in economics. Think about two countries engaged in an arms race. Both would be better off if they disarmed, but the fear of being vulnerable leads them to keep building weapons, or consider a common resource like a fishery. Everyone benefits if everyone fishes sustainably, but if one person starts overfishing, it puts pressure on everyone else to do the same. These examples illustrate the challenges of cooperation when individual incentives conflict with the common good. Section 8. Keeping oligopolies in check. Governments play a role in regulating oligopolies to prevent them from acting against the public interest. Antitrust laws, like the Sherman Act in the United States, aim to prevent monopolies and promote competition. These laws give governments the power to break up monopolies, block mergers that would reduce competition, and punish firms that engage in price fixing or other anti-competitive practices. However, regulating oligopolies is tricky. Too much intervention can stifle innovation and efficiency. Too little can lead to higher prices and less choice for consumers. Section 9. A delicate balance: competition versus cooperation. Oligopolies present a unique challenge for economists and policymakers. On the one hand, competition among firms can lead to lower prices and innovation. On the other hand, cooperation can lead to greater efficiency and stability. The key is to strike a balance that encourages competition while preventing collusion that harms consumers. This requires a nuanced understanding of the incentives at play in these markets. Ultimately, the goal is to ensure that oligopolies serve the interests of consumers, not just the interests of a powerful few.